Right now, over 140 million people carry an American Express card in their wallet. It's the card of power, of status, of first-class lounges and five-star hotels. When you pull out an Amex, people notice, but here's what almost nobody knows. American Express didn't start as a credit card company. It didn't start as a bank. It didn't even start as a financial company. It started as a mail delivery service. A group of men with horses, wagons, and rickety railroads hauling packages through mud and snow across a wild, half-built country. And the man who started it all, he was a farm boy from Vermont with a stutter so severe that people mocked him his entire life. He worked as a shoemaker's apprentice, hauled freight on canal, and was told repeatedly that his ideas were too ambitious and too foolish to work. This is the extraordinary story of how a stuttering freight hauler named Henry Wells turned a package delivery business into one of the most powerful financial empires on the planet. The year is 1805. In the small town of Thetford, Vermont, a boy named Henry Wells is born. His family is not wealthy, not connected. Henry grows up on a farm, works the land, attends a modest school, and from an early age he carries something that will follow him for the rest of his life: a severe stutter. In early 1800s, America, a speech impediment wasn't just embarrassing, it was disqualifying. Public life, business, and leadership all demanded confident speaking, and young Henry could barely get through a sentence without stumbling. He was mocked by other children, overlooked by teachers, written off before he'd even begun. At 17, he was apprenticed to a tanner and shoemaker in Palmyra, New York. He learned to work leather, to keep his head down, to survive through craft rather than words. But Henry Wells had something his stutter couldn't silence: a restless mind that saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. By 1836, he had become a freight agent on the Erie Canal. He learned how goods moved across America, how businesses depended on safe, fast transport. And he quickly realized something that would define his future. America was growing faster than its infrastructure could handle. Businesses needed a better way to move money, documents, and valuable goods. The government's postal service was slow, expensive, and unreliable. Letters cost up to 25 cents depending on distance, a fortune for ordinary people. Henry saw the gap, and he decided to fill it. In 1841, he went to work for William Herndon, the man who founded America's first express delivery company. Wells became Herndon's agent in Albany. He learned the express business from the inside out, but almost immediately, Wells began pushing to expand. He wanted to go west, to Buffalo, to the Midwest. Herndon said no, too risky, too far. So Henry Wells did what he always did when someone told him no. He went and did it himself. In 1841, Wells founded Wells & Company. He started running express deliveries between New York City and Buffalo. The route was brutal. 5 broken-down railroads connected by 65 miles of wagon through rough terrain. But it worked. Businesses trusted Wells because he delivered on time every time. Then he and a young partner named William Fargo launched an express service into the Midwest, connecting Buffalo to Detroit, Chicago, Cincinnati, and St. Louis. It was wildly ambitious. At first it barely made money, but Henry Wells didn't build things for quick profits. He built things for the future. Meanwhile, Wells declared war on the United States Postal Service itself. He and other expressmen began delivering letters for just 5 cents, undercutting the government so dramatically that the Postal Service was forced to slash its own prices. A stuttering freight hauler from Vermont had just forced the most powerful mail system in the country to change its prices. By the late 1840s, 3 major express companies were fighting for dominance: Wells & Company, Livingston, Fargo & Company, and Butterfield, Wasson & Company. The competition was brutal. All 3 were bleeding money trying to destroy each other. Then John Butterfield proposed something radical. Instead of competing, why not merge? On March 18, 1850, the 3 companies consolidated into one. They called it the American Express Company. Henry Wells was elected president. William Fargo became vice president, starting capital $150,000. From day one, the company was profitable. American Express expanded rapidly, acquired competitors, built a delivery network stretching from the East Coast to Missouri. By 1862, 890 officers, 1,500 employees, nearly 10,000 miles of routes. They moved everything: packages, legal documents, gold, currency, election ballots during the Civil War. If it was valuable and needed to arrive safely, American Express carried it. But Henry Wells had bigger dreams. He wanted California. The gold rush was creating massive demand for express and banking services out west, but the American Express board voted against it. So once again, Wells went around them. In 1852, he and Fargo founded Wells, Fargo and Company, specifically to serve California. That company would grow into another financial giant. The same two men behind two of the biggest names in American finance. But American Express itself was about to undergo its greatest transformation. In the 1880s, James Fargo, William's brother and then president of Amex, took a trip to Europe. He carried letters of credit to access his money abroad, but at bank after bank he was turned away or delayed. The system was humiliating, even for the head of American Express. James came back furious. He said, if the president of American Express has trouble getting his money overseas, what chance does an ordinary traveler have? The result was the American Express Traveler's Cheque, launched in 1891. A simple, portable document that let anyone carry money safely anywhere in the world. Travelers no longer had to carry dangerous amounts of cash or deal with unreliable foreign banks. It was a revolution. Within years, millions were using them. American Express had gone from hauling packages on wagons to reinventing how the world carried money. By the early 1900s, American Express had travel offices across Europe, international banking operations, and was the trusted name for Americans abroad. In 1918, the government consolidated the express industry during World War I. American Express exited shipping entirely, the business it was founded on. But it didn't matter. The company had already become a financial services powerhouse. Then came 1958. American Express launched its charge card. The original was purple, matching the traveler's check. Before the official launch, 250,000 cards were already issued. 17,500 businesses signed up to accept them. The credit card age had begun, and American Express was at the front. If this story fascinated you, hit subscribe right now. We tell stories like this every single week. The untold journeys behind the world's most powerful brands. Turn on notifications so you never miss one. Today, American Express processes over $1 trillion in transactions every year. It operates in over 130 countries. It is one of the 30 companies in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And it all started with a stuttering boy from Vermont who hauled freight on a canal, a boy nobody believed in, who was told his ideas were too big, who was rejected by his own board, who built not one but two legendary companies, American Express and Wells Fargo. Because the people above him kept saying no, Henry Wells proved something the world still struggles to understand. The size of your voice doesn't determine the size of your vision. Sometimes the quietest people in the room build the loudest empires.